Opening up this hour with Bruce Springsteen's Badlands, Stuart Bell's choice, I have to say. David Fortune by your side now through until 2 o'clock today. And Stuart from the Johnstown Flood is in the studio. Good afternoon, Stuart. Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks.
Good. First of all, can you tell us where the name for your band came from, Johnstown Flood?
It's mentioned in a Bruce Springsteen song.
Right.
The band played the night of the Johnstown Floods. The Johnstown Flood is also a song which I've never ever heard. So that's where it came from. It's a good name for a band.
So, big Springsteen fan then?
I am, yes. Yeah.
How would you describe your music, Stuart?
It's a bit of a mixture of folk, country, Americana. It's always difficult to describe your own music.
Yeah,
I find it quite hard to pin down, but that's how I'd probably most accurate way to describe it.
So who else actually plays in the band with you?
Well, the Johnstown Flood is really me and anyone else who's available on any particular night. So I have a good friend, Jonathan Kearney, plays bass and does some singing, a bit of guitar as well. George Murray plays the drums, or K-John, and some guitar, does singing, and then also on occasion Scott Burrell is another drummer that I play with too. Another
regular in the band, but you're quite open to others joining you.
Absolutely, yeah.
You sound like you guys play fairly regularly together.
Yeah.
How did you all meet?
I first met Jonathan. I used to run open mic nights in Cafe Fresh a couple of years ago, and Jonathan was doing a night of his own there, and I ended up doing the PA for him, and got together from there, started writing together and then performing together. Back
to you and your solo career. How did it all start?
I used to go to Betty Nichols in Kirkcaldy on a Thursday night, and they ran their acoustic music nights. I can remember sitting thinking, I really want to do that, and I was persuaded to do it, and I did. That's it really. And then I started doing that regularly, and really started off playing in folk clubs, and then more recently started playing pubs and stuff as well. Kind of changed the music I was playing a wee bit to fit in a bit more with that,
What would you say is your favourite music venue in Dunfermline?
Well, I've a big loyalty to Cafe Fresh. That's where I play most often. A couple of nights coming up there on 2nd and 3rd of March, and it's always really busy. It's quite a small venue, but it's always a really good atmosphere. So yeah, I love that.
I was on your website earlier on, and I noticed that back in 2009 you released a CD. How did things go with that?
It's really just on sale through venues and from myself. I couldn't tell you how many copies I've sold, but getting up probably to 200 or so now.
Yeah,
no, it's just a self-release 4-track EP.
I was gonna ask if there's any chance you could maybe play us a track from that.
I can
CD.
do, yeah.
Yeah, let's go for it.
I can do. This is One Last Night on the Town. There's a light on the high street, there's an open door. Music's not too loud for talking, there's a space at the bar. How you been lately? I've not seen you around. Seems like we're almost at the point, no return. Used to walking away and turning your back, and finally facing your fears. Here's to old habits dying, no longer crying over all the things we used to hold dear. Here's to one last night on the town, one more embrace before I turn around. Here's to one last night on the town, and here's to the barmaids and the barbecue king that keep this old town well oiled. Here's to the daring young girls and their fake IDs, all their plans and party makeup so recklessly spoiled. Now these streets are paved with chewing gum, and the laughter's fading fast. Arguments staggering up the road, past doorways full of kisses and broken glass. Here's to one last night on the town, one more embrace before I turn around. Here's to one last night on the town. Here's to fond farewells from strangers that feel we've always known. Here's to black eyes and blue balls, and then a long, long, lonely, lonely walk home. Here's to one last night on the town, one more embrace before I turn around. Here's to one last night on the town, one last drink before I put the glass down. Here's to one last night on the town, one more embrace before I turn around. Here's to one last night on the town, one last drink before I put the glass down. Before I put the glass down.
Radio West Fife.
Excellent stuff, Stuart. You wrote that yourself, yeah?
Along with Jonathan, yeah.
Along with Jonathan. Is it only original work that you guys perform then?
We do some covers as well. At most we'll do kind of 50% covers. It depends on the gig that we're doing, you know.
In your opinion, these days, what really gets a crowd started? What gets them going now?
They like a good beat, I think, is the best thing. A nice bit of rhythm.
Something to dance to.
Yeah.
Once you've actually performed in front of a crowd, how do you feel, after a gig?
I normally feel brilliant. It depends how it's gone, you know. You get a good buzz out of it. That's why I do it.
Now, the music industry is a notoriously sort of tricky business to get into. Do you have any words of advice for young musicians who might want to be getting themselves out there?
I would just say, do what you enjoy doing. Get as many gigs as you can. Get out there and start playing, and start playing with as many people as you want or can as well.
I believe you're involved in the Bruce Festival this year as well. What can you tell us about that?
Well, when we did that, we were doing some entertainment before the banquet that was on in the marquee. A very cold day as well it was. But yeah, it was good fun too.
Where can we find out more about your music?
Facebook or the website www.thejohnstownflood.co.uk, and it's facebook.com/the Johnstown Flood.
Good stuff. Could you play another song for us, perhaps?
Certainly can, yeah. I'm going to do one called Fixtures and Fittings. I have no name, you'll never know me by the colour of my skin. My face is white as snow, though you'll never know, for I wear a mask as black as sin. Turn off the sun, even the moon's cold light burns. Sir, I belong in the dark. A machine of flesh and bone that's never known what it's like to have a straight back. Fixture and fittings, picks and shovels, winding gear and the souls of men. Fixture and fittings, picks and shovels, winding gear and the souls of men. In the bowels of this pit I dug your fortune and your riches. Sir, were you not just as able? From the cradle to the grave I'll not be your property and your slave, putting the meat on your table. Fixture and fittings, picks and shovels, winding gear and the souls of men. Fixture and fittings, picks and shovels, winding gear and the souls of men. I swear one night I will crawl, sir, into the starlight I have forsaken. Stretch my hands around your neck and squeeze out your last contented breath. Take back what was taken. Fixture and fittings, picks and shovels, winding gear and the souls of men. Fixture and fittings, picks and shovels, winding gear and the souls of men.
Stuart Bell from the Johnstown Flood, still in the studio just now, playing us a couple of tunes. I reckon I'm going to blag one more song out of you before you go, sir, if that's okay.
Yeah, no problem.
We were just chatting off air there about your plans for the future. What have you got lined up?
Well, I'm helping out at Rubens on the 11th of February. Jonathan and Kim Shepherd are playing there, so I'll be doing the PA and hopefully doing a couple of songs with them. 10th of March, I'm playing in Aikman's at St Andrews. 2nd and 3rd of March, Cafe Fresh. And then at the beginning of May, I've got a gig in Rubens, Dunfermline. And in April, 5th of April, I think, I'm playing at Eddie's in Kirkcaldy. Reasonably busy.
Yeah, it sounds very busy. Certainly with, I don't know all the venues you mentioned there, but certainly with the Dunfermline ones, they're quite small, intimate venues, aren't they?
They are, yeah.
Do you enjoy them more?
It depends, really. Cafe Fresh is small and intimate, but we tend to get quite lively, you know. Tend to get people out of their seats for a couple of songs, and it's not always quiet, shall we say.
Not always laid back.
No,
yeah,
not always.
I guess it just depends on the mood the people are in.
Yeah.
Anyway, before you disappear off skate, would you be up for playing another song for us?
I'll do another one, yeah. I'll do a wee quiet one, I think.
Your blue eyes in the morning are closed for sleep tonight, and I listen close for your sweet breath to know that you're alright. You are proof to me the stars we chase are not glimmers in our eyes. And I thank God for the angel who placed you where you lie. If nightmares should awake you, you'll never be alone. Through broken hearts, broken bones, through puppy dogs' tails and sticks and stones, I'll take your tears and tend them as my own. Nightmares should awake you, you'll never be alone. Through broken hearts and broken bones, through puppy dogs' tails and sticks and stones. I'll take your tears and tend them as my own.